Wow, look, it's Collin O'Neill.
Yo ho, what up?
How are you? I'm going to come over here so I can get better light. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm hanging in.
Good, good. Last time I saw you, you were on the internet in Australia.
Yes.
Touring stuff. You're the most globe-trotting gay porn star in the entire world, you know that?
Yes, I do know that.
And
it's because of my business and my company.
well, that's true, but like, cause you're the whole theme of your site is men from all over the world.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, a lot of us try to keep things as diverse as possible, but it's not always that easy to mix different guys. And you know, I mean, and I know just from my experience producing that you'll have one type of guy works really well. You've got a site that it's really, you know, it's focused, and people are always asking for diversity, but they don't necessarily always want it. But you're the exception to that rule. How'd you do that?
Well, my whole point was that when I started my whole business, I just had it in the back of my head that I had to find something unique. Because the whole studio thing has been done over and over again. The porn factories in California, New York, and wherever, and they just keep using the models. I want to find unique models. I just saw all the porn companies battling over their exclusives, and sometimes, I know my ex-boyfriend is Arpad Miklos. I remember one time, every company, main company, released a movie in the same month, and he was on every cover. They didn't even talk to each other about it, and then like retailers were, whoa, Arpad is on every cover of every different company. So I was like, even before I started World of Men, I was traveling ever since I was like 13 years old. So I wanted to combine my love of travel and finding hot guys and trying to make a business out of it. So that was the whole point of World of Men.
And you're one of those guys who actually is doing a whole lot of stuff with Middle Eastern men, which for a while, finding Middle Eastern men in gay porn was not easy. And a lot of them would pretend to be something else. And now, you know, and I talked with Chris Ward yesterday, and the subject of the Lebanon movie came up, because he's just released his Arabian series. And, you know, now it's Middle Eastern men are the shit, you know. And I mean, I took his movies home last night and had a nice little spank because it's fucking hot. But Lebanon is one of my favorite porn movies, and I remember watching this thinking, how come more people aren't doing this? At the time, were you having trouble getting that made?
No, actually, Lebanon was one of the easiest movies to make for me, crazy enough. But you know, the big thing with me is that I don't see the real danger. Like everybody in my family, they freak out. Well, not everybody. My dad especially freaks out anytime I go to Lebanon or Syria. But the thing is that not any porn producer could have went to Lebanon and made a movie, or you know, flew Francois Sagat into Damascus airport, picked him up at the airport, and showed him. You know, that was my background. You know, that is where I lived. I lived in Lebanon. And so I knew the ins and outs. You know, in certain countries, you just need to know the ins and outs. So no, it wasn't that hard to make. I put myself in a lot of danger, believe me. But I'm glad I made it.
Well, see, and the danger part is really also what I'm kind of thinking of. Because there is a scene, and it's you with Sed. And I mean, this is one of my favorite scenes ever, honestly. But it's you and Sed, and then Francois is keeping like watch. And I've heard so many people say, "Oh, that's bullshit. They shot that in Palm Springs." But you actually did shoot that in Lebanon, didn't you?
I shot it. I usually don't like to talk about when I shoot a scene that doesn't have to do with the title of the movie. That scene was not shot in Lebanon.
Okay.
But it was shot in Jordan.
Oh,
now,
so even worse.
Yeah, right. So the secret to that scene is that we went down to a resort on the Dead Sea on the Jordanian side. There's a military base there, so it's highly secured. But Saeed actually knew that this place was quite private. I think he kind of had been there before with some of his tricks. He was living in Jordan at the time. So it's a canyon, a shallow canyon that went up into the mountains. And we walked for about 45 minutes into the canyon. And the truth about it is exactly how the scene is played out. Francois Sagat was not to be in the scene. he was there to be security, make sure that no Bedouin walked by and caught us, or military.
That's crazy. Now, what would have happened if you got caught?
I have no idea. I just don't even want to think about the consequences. I mean, when it comes to Jordan or Lebanon, or probably and Israel, the consequences are not going to be,
Public
cut your head
beheading.
off.
Yeah, okay.
And then I always had the embassy's phone number in my phone. When it comes to countries like Syria, well, that it's a little different. But they're not going to cut my head off or anything. It might have gone up higher politically. But, I would never go to Iran and film.
No, probably not. We'll wait for all these. We'll wait for the war to be over and all the soldiers to come home, and then we can shoot them.
Right.
We can. I'm down with that. I'm all about my military stuff too.
There you go.
But now you're not always putting yourself in danger, because you've shot in England, you've shot in France, you've shot in Australia. The budget for that must be astronomical.
That's my other secret that, I've been a travel guru ever since I was 13. I worked at a travel agency when I was 13. I'm probably one of the youngest travel agents out there. And I took that knowledge of how to play with frequent flyer miles, upgrades, and I flaunt my flying in first class on my blog.
I know.
And everywhere.
I know.
And go ha 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 ha. And people don't realize that it's rare that I pay for a real business class or first class ticket. So when it comes down to Australia, my Australia movie, I actually I had friends in Australia and I stayed with them. And then I did promos at clubs. And when I did a promo at a club, they'd pay for my hotel. So I think I paid for 3 nights of hotel out of the whole 2 months that I was there.
That's okay. All right. So you're like you're a smart traveler.
Yeah.
And now, as a side business, you actually will do Collin O'Neill world tours, won't you?
That's what I just started advertising. And the weirdest place that I first stuck it was on Rempboy, which I've already had people kind of like say, "Oh, I see you on Rempboy." I said, "Did you read the ad?" And so my ad reads specifically to what I'm doing. I'm offering $2,500. I will plan your whole trip, go with you, introduce you to the models, such as, Colombia. If anybody ever wants to go to Colombia, I know it like the back of my hand. And I have models there that are more than willing to help, guide, whoever wants to hire me as their personal tour guide, help guide around.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I just might.
There goes your iPhone.
There goes my iPhone. Listen, last year while I was talking to Mason Weiler, I dropped my iPhone.
Did you crack it?
Oh yeah, shattered right up the thing, and I left it like that for a while. It was I decided it was my hardcore iPhone.
Yikes.
But that's it. Okay, actually, I'm still kind of amazed about all the traveling and all of, because I mean, working how I do, where we do virtually all of our shooting on the one ranch, the Jake Cruz Ranch, which is a great shooting location. We've got a lot of there's flies all around. We're in Phoenix, by the way. We're here at the Phoenix convention, and we're out in the desert. And we're next to a fountain with looks like booths. Yeah. Oh no, those are horses. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. But okay, and just recently you disappeared for a bit and then relaunched your site.
Yes.
And how's that going for you?
It's slow. One thing that we kind of learned is that my website was all about my name.
Yeah.
So we always kept CollinO'Neill.com. I kind of wanted to be like, I don't want the porn to be about me. And what I realized is that my fans out there were used to seeing CollinO'Neill.com for the past 5 years. So we just realized that, the entry has to be as CollinO'Neill.com, even though we have worldofmen.com, which I actually just trademarked. So I have the trademark on World of Men now. So we will be releasing calendars with men from around the world.
Cool.
And we have that trademark. The next trademark is going to be Collin O'Neill.
I was going to say, Collin O'Neill, it's back to CollinO'Neill.com again then. That's
we
good.
have 2 entry points. It's worldofmen.com and CollinO'Neill.com. In the future, we may have 2 different sites with 2 different kind of content on it.
Right, but listen, I mean, working in this industry, there's no blueprint. There's a lot of trial and error. And
Exactly.
all right, cool. Well, you're still making it work, and you're still doing great, and you're still hot after all these years. So yay,
Thanks.
yay. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Jason.
Collin. We'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.